Assalamu alaikum. Today we are going to study about something which is light on my throat because as you can hear, my throat is not happy with me. So I was trying to record this video since 2 days, but I thought I should be able to reach a level where you could understand my voice. So today I'm recording it and I hope you understand what I'm saying. So let's begin with the gypsum products. So gypsum, it is a mineral and it is calcium sulfate dihydrate. So gypsum is a mineral and it is calcium sulfate dihydrate, okay, which is CaSO4 2H2O. So when we do calcination of this calcium sulfate dihydrate, calcination is basically removing water and carbon dioxide from this thing right here. So when we remove water and carbon dioxide, the process is called calcination, and we do this by giving heat. We provide heat to this calcium sulfate dihydrate, and then water and carbon dioxide is removed, and then we get the gypsum products. Okay, now the source of gypsum could be natural or synthetic. So when we are talking about source, it could be natural or synthetic. Natural, as already told, it is found as a mineral in various parts of the world, and synthetic, it is a byproduct of the manufacture of phosphoric acid. So it is a byproduct of manufacture of phosphoric acid. Now before we dive into how we produce gypsum product, let us see the uses of it. So we'll first see the uses of the gypsum product. So gypsum product is not only used in dentistry but is also used in other fields like in industry or in healthcare. So we'll divide the uses into three parts. First, industrial uses. The second one is healthcare. And the third one, which is of our interest, is in dentistry. So in the industrial uses, it is the basic component of the plaster of Paris, which we call it as POP. So it is a basic component of POP, and we have seen that it is used in home construction for the decoration of the ceilings and all. So that is the industrial use. And in healthcare, if you ever, God forbid, if you ever broke your limb, your doctor will fix it with the gypsum product. So it is used to make casts to immobilize and protect the limb. Okay. And in dentistry, it is used to make study casts for treatment planning and also to mount the cast. So it is used to make study cast, it is used to mount the cast, and it is also used sometimes to take impression of the patient. Alright, so when the patient is completely edentulous, and preferably there should be no undercut because the plaster would tend to break if there is undercut. So it is used to taking impression, and then it is used to make models, okay, cast or dies, and it is also used in precision casting and soldering operation, and it is also one of the basic ingredients of casting investment. As a basic ingredient of casting investment. So when you mix gypsum with some fillers like different crystalline forms of silica, it will become heat resistant and it will be useful to form molds for casting of the molten metal in an anatomic form for dental restoration. So this form of material is known as gypsum based investment. So when we mix the gypsum with crystalline forms of silica, it will become heat resistant and it will be used for making mold, and that will be called as gypsum based investment. Now I have two questions for you. First one is, what is the difference between cast and die? Okay, and the second question is, Why cannot we use gypsum as a restorative material? As a restorative material. Oh my god, my voice. Okay, so a cast is both the cast and die. These are replica of the teeth and the surrounding structures, but cast is a replica of more than one teeth. Okay, but die is just a replica of a single tooth. So it is a replica of a single tooth, and the cast, so it is replica of more than one tooth. More than one tooth. So several teeth are involved. It could be a quadrant or a full arch. Now the second question is, why cannot we use gypsum as a restorative material? That is because of the limited strength, low abrasion resistance, high solubility, poor aesthetic qualities. So these are the things because of which we cannot use gypsum as a restorative material. Alright? Now we'll see how to manufacture the gypsum. So we studied that we get the gypsum mineral as CaSO4 2H2O, which is calcium sulfate dihydrate. So what we do, we ground it into fine powders. So we just ground it into fine powder, and then it is subjected to heat, and this process is called as calcination, and due to this, approximately 75% of what is driven off, it is evaporated, and then we get calcium sulfate hemihydrate. So we get CaSO4, this is calcium sulfate hemihydrate. Here we were having dihydrate, 2 di, and here we are having hemihydrate. Okay, now we can produce this calcium sulfate hemihydrate in 3 ways. So there are 3 methods, 1, 2, 3. So depending on the method which we are following, various types of gypsum product we'll get. For example, the first one is dry calcination. The second one is wet calcination. And the third one is the improved stone. So in dry calcination, we get, let me change the color. In dry calcination, we get type 1 impression plaster, and we get type 2 dental plaster, and we'll see why do we get so. And in wet calcination, we get type 3 dental stone, dental stone, and here by this method, improved stone, we get die stone. Okay, now let's go one by one to each of these. So first one is dry calcination. So in dry calcination, as the name says, dry, we use an open kettle or vessel. So let me draw a kettle here. So we using heat from below, and we are having our gypsum here, and this kettle is open, as you can see. So we are heating it at a temperature between 120 to 180 degrees centigrade, and then the water is driven off and the dihydrate is converted into hemihydrate. Okay, and this type of calcination produces a hemihydrate which is called as beta hemihydrate. Okay,